Good morning, traders, and welcome to your pre-market prep. Venderman here with FuturestraderElite. I'm going to give it just a few minutes here. We got about 13 minutes before the market opens. Give everybody a chance to get on real quick before we get into the structure and break some things down. Had a huge move down overnight. Hope everybody's been getting prepared for the open this morning. If you make it on, hop in chat and let me know you're here. Probably give it about 2 more minutes and then I will break into the chart. Give us about 10 minutes before the market open to break some things down. Go on and pull the chart up so that we can see it. All right, I'm going to go on and jump in right here and start breaking down some things. We only got about about 10 minutes left. So, of course, you can see this is the 4-hour chart. NQ, MNQ, this is MNQ, same thing. All right, so we got the overhead trend lines. We got a 4-hour there, 4-hour here. This bigger line up here could be considered a daily, but this is the 4-hour, maybe 8-hour, 4-hour here. And then overnight, you know, we had that huge move to the downside, and we have a high time frame trend line down here that it had touched, and then as you can see right now, we're trading around 503. Last night when the market opened, we was somewhere up in this area, the 900s, I believe it was. And yeah, overnight we was up here. And so now we've put in several imbalance zones on this down move here. Each one of these red boxes imbalance zone. Some are on the 1 hour, some might be on the 15-minute, but they are all in balance zones. You can see this 4-hour candle here has already gotten up to this S1 pivot around 607 or so. What I'm going to be looking for today, the golden pivot is all the way up at 858. So, if, you know, I want to see when they open this market, are they going to try to push this back up? You can see when we come down overnight and tag this spot right here, it protected this low back here, thankfully. That's down around the 235, 240 area down here. And so right now we really, you know, at the open, I'd like to see this push. I don't really want to see this pull back anymore or go below this low that it already put in. I mean, it could happen. We'll just see what they want to do with everything going on. And then you got to think, if they do bring us back down and don't protect that low, then we're looking at this back here. And so then we're going to be looking at this box here. That's 155 to 185, this box here. So that would be the line in the sand if they were able to break through this here and push past. This one up here is around 235. 240, 250, right up in here. So if they push through that, we need to be thinking hopefully they're going to protect this low back here and maybe tap this box and then turn around. That is if they even try to push it down. And if they do, then it's just going to get ugly after that. I mean, that's going to be a bad situation. So I'm hoping that that's not what they're going to do when they open. I'm really thinking we might see a push to the top or to the upside. And if we do, we got this 4-hour zone up here. That is 755 to 765 right up here. All this imbalance here that needs to be gotten through. And you know, this is 755. It's a little over 200 points away. 225. So right now, this is going to have to be my range. It's going to be hard to think about anything above this until they see what we can prove at the open of the market. Are we going to tag this 4-hour high, or are we going to get stuck up in all this resistance here? If they do, you can see there's a 4-hour zone above the golden pivots at 858. There's a 4-hour box from 870 to 881. And you know, they can still get up here. They can get all the way back up here. This candle closed at 9. The next candle open. You can say they could get all the way up to back to 25,000 before tagging this trend line on the 4-hour. So it's going to be something to keep in mind as well. That'd be a pretty huge move out of the gate, but it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen something like that out of the gate. Let's pop this down to a little bit lower time frame. Let's go to the 1-hour. See what we have. Okay, you know, what a move. So bearish, this whole move here. We're looking at 25,086 all the way down to like 24,370 or something like that. It's a lot. And so right now we're even below the S1 pivot here. We're below the 50 EMA is the pink line right up here. Let's pull up the data box real quick. Look at some of that. The prior close was 25,028. So that's that purple line right up here. You know, what if they try to tag that? The prior open was 24,684, so it's right here, and we're right at the prior low, this red line here at 477. So we've already tagged a prior low, swept it. Question is can they keep it above this and push today? Since we're going to be below the 50 EMA and the golden pivot on the higher time frame, you got to think it might act like a magnet and they come to test it. But on the 1-hour, we're breaking structure here at 674, and again at 670, 675, and then about 750, about 100 points there. So, you know, there's a lot of ground to make up here. I think it'll be best, maybe, we'll see how it opens, but it might just be best to sit it out first 15, 20 minutes, maybe let it put in a 15-minute candle, see what the range is, and then go from there. I mean, overall, you know, it's just really bearish, so it's particularly hard to find any good longs. You'd have to protect yourself a whole lot. And as you can see, this is a rough area here in this zone, this imbalance zone up here. They tried hard there. They tried hard here. Here, they finally got what they wanted right there, but it didn't last long and then gave it all back. And then they come back and tested that area. So 25K, you know, well, it's about, say 85 to 135 covers that. But you know, you could come in here and say on average on average, you're looking at about 25,100 has been hard resistance up in this area. So that'd be a key level to think if they did try to drive this up, that it might not go past that. And if they try to do that, they could sweep the trend line and tag it and still reject. It looks like we got about just about a couple minutes left. I'm going to switch over to the 1 minute. Well, let's look at this on the 5 minute real quick. All right, so on the 5 minute, right here, trying to break structure right here around this just over 600 area. You know, ideally, you'd want this to get over that S1 pivot to get bullish on this 5 minute chart. That way you're breaking structure and holding the pivot. If it could get above close, consolidate and bounce. For maybe your next, you got a couple here, you know, you break out here, you target 655 and break out there, you target 685, 690, 700 up in this area. You get there, you try to target this 4 hour box up here. If it can keep breaking, maybe put in some pullback legs for a retest of a structure, maybe for a bounce. You just have to wait and see how it opens. We got less than a minute left. So just stay patient, stay calm, have no emotion involved, and let the chart talk to you, see what it's going to do. Probably make sure you size down. If you do trade at the open of the market, it could get a little wild. ATR could get really high really fast and be whipping around like normal. Excuse me, got about 10 seconds left. About here we go. What's it going to do? Ideally, you know, if they push this down and try to test this low right here, that might be a really good trade, but and see if they protect it, because if they come down here and try to tag this low, but then protect it, maybe touch the top of this box or get pretty close to it and then turn this around, then that could be the low for the day, maybe. They're going to take it the other way. We'll see. It needs to get above that S1 pivot. It's almost like I almost want to play a first reaction short up into the zone. But there's no telling what they might try to do here at the open. Push it really hard. Nice. That would have been nice. First reaction would have been nice there. 10, 20, probably about 30 points or better. They're holding though. Wow, nice rejection again. Question is, are they going to be able to hold it? Good morning, Melinda or Melissa. You know, see, they might try to pull this back to about the 545 area. May try to come down here and tag us this wick right here on this candle. Possibly. Or they might just flag it out right here. I think I'll just sit this out for a minute. They wasn't able to get above that S1 pivot and close, and you know, it'd been different had they closed this above the S1 pivot and start trying to hold this above that for a minute. Then I would think maybe they're going for a bigger push to the upside to tackle some of this here. You know, fill this imbalance here up to the 666, 665 area. 685 up into here, but they couldn't quite pull that off just yet. So now I got to ask myself, if they're going to pull this back, is this going to be a pullback for entry? And if so, where at? You know, part of me wants to think right here at this wick of this candle, 540, 541, 42, and then you could, you know, follow tight with a stop. Maybe even down at the 50, but got to be careful with this, because what if they don't like that and they want to sweep the 50 or tag this prior low at this 477 again? You would think the way we bounced out of the 4-hour box back here to the left, come up, come down, and consolidated on this prior low, that they would try to save here and bounce again. If they take this area out right here, then I'm concerned. This whole area of consolidation, if they take that out, it's going to concern me on whether or not they're going to break this this overnight low right here. Something else to just something to watch sometimes when these are in a pullback like this, and sometimes they'll bounce some before returning another leg to the downside. When you get these big red candles and they start putting a green candle in, a lot of times if you pay attention, they'll come up and tag the wick on the candle before they turn around. It's just little things like that. It don't happen every single time, but there's little things like that to pay attention to on the chart that happens more often than you would think. Okay. About 6 minutes in. I like that they're trying to push this back above the pivot. They got to prove that they can hold that, though. Pretty big move just that fast. Down here on swept at 50 EMA, tagged almost 500 area, now it's over 600. It's a fast move in 3 minutes. ATR is at 52.50. Yeah, I think I'll just wait for a minute. Okay, that's a hard break of the S1 pivot. I got about 5 seconds to close on it. And then see, maybe they pull back or if they keep pushing.
Order submitted.
What in the world? What's going on, Room Beats?
Order canceled.
Wanted to see that pull back there and tag that, but now I don't know if that'd be, you don't want to chase. It was a hard break. It was a really nice break above the S1 pivot. And they've practically filled this zone for the most part. We can take that off.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted.
Man, ATR is still 51 on the 1 minute. Come on. Now they're fighting. Got some big swings though. I probably should have been paying attention. This could try to come all the way down here and test this 50 EMA and still be a higher low. I was hoping they'd save it at the pivot, of course. Giving them a chance to drain off the momentum indicators, that's for sure.
Order filled. Order filled.
Just need one bounce. One bounce.
Order submitted.
What's going on, boat? Got boat and room beats.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Need to find that push. KTR is 35. Got a couple more minutes. Put in a 15-minute range box and see what we're looking at.
Order filled.
Didn't find the bounce down there that I wanted.
Order filled.
That's for sure.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Hope they got the sweep of the 50 EMA again, but they need to protect this low here. Really, if they're going to take this back up. Need to give us another one of them 100-point moves like they did a minute ago. Good job, boat.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled. Order canceled.
Getting a pretty good push there.
Order filled. Order canceled. Order submit. Order filled.
Got back quite a bit of what I lost on that down move. Probably is going to be another one of them 100, almost 100-point move. Right at it. Looks like we got a head and shoulders forming right here on the 1 minute. You know, if they can break the neckline hard and take this wick out right here, say they get down under 500 right in this area and can close, then that could mean something bad to the downside. They can close below 500 and then break through this consolidation here. All looks pretty rough on the 1, 2, and 5 minute, really, to the downside.
Order filled.
See if they can push this down.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
They gotta get down here and take out 500. There we go. It's got to close down there for another push down. Now they need to push it harder than that. Can't get it. We'll see what they do. They might still try to push it down right here. Because now we was putting in the lower highs there, but now we just broke it. And we got a lower high here and a head and shoulders on the chart.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order canceled.
Let me hop this over to the 15 minute and put us in a box and see what we're looking at. Ooh, that's ugly 15 minute candle. All right, so they break out of the bottom side of this orb box here. Need to be thinking about a move down to test this 4-hour zone down here possibly. But we'll see. They could just drag this up to the top of the orb here, maybe test the top, maybe break out the top. We'll see. They pushing it down hard, all these wicks to the top here. And in 15 minute candles were looking pretty rough. ATR is still up there pretty good, 40, 45, 40, between 45 and 50. Still keeping it below the 50 EMA there. Right here. Although we're in the oversold territory pretty good. Maybe they want to try to push it. Not looking too good. Had a lot of consolidation right here before the bounce off of this prior low, and then the way it caught here. So, you know, it's almost, you would want to see it get below that there. We need to break below 500, break below 477 really. Otherwise, because this is all pretty much choppy. And they might have other plans here. Might have plans to take it to the top side. We'll see. It's hard to try to get short in the trade when the indicators are so oversold. On the momentum indicators anyway. It don't mean that you can't though. It could stay down in the oversold area for half the day or better if it wanted to.
Order fill. Order submitted.
Come on, push.
Order fill. Order fill.
Expecting a harder push right here. Maybe down to at least this red line, or maybe like 470.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order fill. Order fill. Order check. Order fill.
Do a little bit of scalping, trying to get this thing back to green here.
Order fill. Order submitted. Order fill.
And that right there is why I say I hate to take a short down here when the momentum indicators are so oversold, because this is what I was thinking, you know, get in at short here and it goes against you like that. You know, I get in down here for 490, it pops all the way up to 560 something. That's a pretty bad loss, even if you take one micro, more than I would want to really lose doing that. Took way more of a loss holding in this up here earlier than I ever do, but it is what it is. Now the question is the risk worth trying to take the long here? Not really. I mean, look how much they sucked that back down, and now look, they're sucking this one down here, keeping it below the 50 EMA. Not that they can't find some legs, you know, but this is where the indicators are oversold, and they find some that, and then you start seeing your bounces come in, and one good bounce could make this indicator on a 1 minute be back in overbought territory pretty fast. It's kind of like a fake out situation. They trapped a lot of people, probably tried to go long there. Now they're pretty rough going against them. If they didn't already stop out, or if they went long and put their stop here, they're going to come hunt them out probably. It looks like they're really going to take these lows out right here and maybe try to tackle that 4-hour box. Now I think I'm going to try to play long out of this 4-hour box, hoping that they're going to protect that low back there. They really need to. Things are bearish enough in the market as it is already. We don't need more downside. If they can break these here, you're probably going to see some momentum come in. If they break, like this wick here is over here at about 447 area. So you think they break 445, then you're probably going to see some momentum follow through. Probably some people got stops hidden right under these areas, probably playing long off of this prior low, played that long. If they didn't take profit, there'd be some stop hunting going on down here in this area. Really hard pushes there where they push these candles back down.
Order filled.
I'm going to try to take one short here, see if we get the break and a hard push down. We're going to have to break, like I said, 445 though, really. For it to find some maybe momentum to the downside.
Order filled.
Don't worry, I got short, so it'll probably go long now. Story of my life right there.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Hello, welcome to the stream. Trade Travel. Hope you're doing well. Told you it's going to try to go long if I go short.
Order canceled. Order filled.
Wow. All right. Maybe I get that. Maybe they suck this candle down like they did the other one.
Order filled. Order filled.
Nice trade travel.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
Well, That sure wasn't worth all the hassle there.
Order submitted.
All that for, I'm about to get a huge drop from here to even try to get this account back green. This is the one that was red. Put it in the negative even worse just now up here. I guess I got out too soon. I should have held on
Order
to all them contracts.
Order filled. Order canceled.
I was at 2 something in the red. All that to still be in the red. Another $200. That's the name of the game sometimes. Latoya. Latoya, how long have you been trading with a Humble Trader?
Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order canceled.
Oh, I see. Nice. Have they seemed to be, do you like them? I'm not real familiar with them. I just, they just got in touch with me in this past week about some things. I hadn't been able to talk to anybody that's over there using them.
Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled. Order canceled.
Yeah, I like their plans. I looked through their plans and all that and some other stuff. I like that you say their support's responsive and good. That's a key factor when it comes to prop firm, I think. We got the ATR still up around 45. This thing's just whipping around. Yeah, I can't say that I remember looking at what the activation fee was over there, but if the way I look at it, most of them ones that have them activation fees, Bull and Ox, maybe Apex, you know, you get your accounts up front for cheap, but then by the time you pay the activation fee, they kind of fall close enough in line with almost any prop firm. If you was to buy one where there's no activation fee, you pay more up front. So I know there's some little differences as far as price goes, but they're all so close in my opinion that it just depends on which way you want to go. Do you want to pay it up front or pay it after the fact? Nothing like ATR being 35 inside some chop. No clear anything. We got outside the opening range. It didn't break to the downside. Holding at that prior low there at 477. So I hope you guys are staying safe and not getting chopped up like I am on this account. This account here that I am trading is Tradeify growth, so it can be breached on the daily. On the growth account, you can't lose more than I think 1,250 on the day, or they'll knock you out of the account. I thought that was going to happen down here a couple times already when I let it get up there 900 to 1,000 in the red, but managed to bring it back so far. So I like to pass it today if I could, and I trade these with a lot more risk than I do a funded or something, because you can pass the growth in one day. So you know, they're down here. They made that drive up this morning at the open here. They're down here back on this low consolidating. It's got to make you wonder, are they gonna try to break this to the upside eventually? Maybe get a bigger push? Or are they gonna let it break to the downside? You know, we got we got to get this box here. Let's draw this box right here. They need to stay above this box. The account that I'm trading now, this growth account, is with Tradeify. Initially, I got some things in the works with Humble. The problem is right now you got to use Quant Tower or Onyx, and I'm not. I do all my trading is tied around using NinjaTrader and TradingView, and I'm not trying to learn any more platforms and systems. And they are supposedly working on being able to hook their accounts to NinjaTrader, so we're kind of waiting on that to happen before we move forward with anything. They break below this box, we got to think they're going to be trying to test this 4-hour down here. And I don't know if that's a trend line or a green line. So let's get rid of this line. And then let's hop this over to the 5-minute real quick. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you're comfortable with, really. I mean, if you have been on a platform, and that's what most people do. I'm just, I know a lot of other people that use Quant Tower. I've just never used it, and there's really no need for me to have to do all that. I like the way NinjaTrader is and the way it's set up, and have Chart Trader on the side. And I do use Trading. I just don't trade from TradingView, but I have TradingView pulled up all day on another screen, watching NQ levels on the 1, 2, and 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour. We're really going to have to save this low here, right there. If we don't, what do we got coming to the downside? Let's go back here and look. Now, I ain't got enough data loaded, and I think I got 180 days. Let's take a look, why don't we? Data series. There's nothing worse than being used to a certain platform, been using it quite a long time, and then having to try to figure out a different one. I know that pain all too well myself. Let's hop this over back to the 4 hour and see if we got some more data on the chart here to look back at. Okay, so yeah. In pre-market, we was talking about if we take this low out up here that is like around 240 or whatever it got down to last night. If we can take that out, then we really need to hold the line back here on this box that's at 155 to 185. Otherwise, we're looking. I mean, look at this. The start of this high time trend line back here is down at 23.5, it looks like. So we don't want that, but we don't control what happens. So we're gonna have to deal with it. See, we're getting down to the 4 hour box. I better switch back over to the 1 minute. I just don't know if that trade is there. I might try to take one. Because if the trade is there, it could really, really bounce. Look, I added more data on my data series, and now it's trying to freeze my chart up. I need to take that back down to 180 because I don't need it trying to bog everything down. 180 days should suffice, but in this bearish market we're in. All right, see, that'd have been a good. We said if we broke the 477, we need to protect this low, this box. If we don't, we're going down to the 4 hour zone. We have that's like a daily trend line now, the one that's just below the box. So I'm going to try to trade out of this box, I think, here. We're going to take that box off, and then I'm going to try to trade off of this box and see.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
And then I'm going to go below this trend line a little bit because I might try to sweep maybe.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
And they could just leave us down here at the train station. You know, what if it don't even tag it? What if they find the legs right here, and this is the low, and they just take it off, take it back to the 50 EMA? Be 100 points. Maybe they'll be nice and sweep this area and do that. You gotta love it when you get left behind like that, but you can't chase it. Because that's not the plan. People see this happen time and time again on their chart, and then they'll just automatically start clicking. This candle gets put in, and then they'll be like, oh, it's turned around, I'm going to miss the move. They start clicking up here, and then they get this candle right after they bought right here for a sweep. And either they end up stopping out down here, or they just hold through, depending on their sizing and risk. But if this starts shaping up to where it's going to consolidate here and looks like it's going to try to make a leg up, then I'll take these orders off and try to find a trade, break a structure. On the 1 minute, maybe look for some momentum for some legs. You can see we're heavily in the oversold territory on the 1 minute. On the momentum indicator, same thing's going on with the 2, the 5. They are all really oversold. You know, we really need to think about holding 370 for sure. If we break down below 370, well, no, yeah, 370. It's kind of the line in the sand right here in this little ordeal. Although, I mean, they could try to sweep 370.
Order fell. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Like to see a decent push out of here. This thing should find some legs.
Order cancel.
At least for a decent little bounce, even if they want to keep taking it down.
Order submitted. Order fell.
They just won't let it happen. See, that should have pushed harder than that there. We'll hold on for a second and see if they try to do some kind of sweep down here. That 4-hour zone is over 100 points away, 251 to 241. Plus we got the S2 pivot. Could be a double bottom if they can bounce this here, but it could still go down more, even though the indicators are in oversold territory pretty heavy. You would still think we got the 4-hour PED zone plus the daily trend line, 4-hour trend line anyway down there. It's a pretty good confluence in line with the fact that the momentum indicators are so oversold that you would find a decent bounce, but that don't mean it's got to happen. You know, really, I guess if we could get a bounce back into this break of structure area right here, a retest, you know, that's still a decent trade. I'm in at 371, that'd be 409. I'd like to try to hold it, give it a little bit of time to breathe and see if it finds some legs down here in this area. The fact that it hadn't dropped no harder than this just yet makes me wonder if they're going to try to hold. Although we could get one of them piercing candles here. We'll see. Could be turned in if they got the flag pulled down. If they could consolidate this sideways right here a little bit, they could go for inversion long, which would bring that candle way back up here and up here to this 50 EMA. It just looks pretty weak to me for that to happen, but those moves tend to happen when everything looks 100% bearish, is when them type of moves occur. Everything's screaming, go short, go short, go short, and then bam, huge green candle comes out of nowhere. So of course it's counter trend trade, you know, I mean, there's risk involved with it. Like that, we need that, but harder than that. You know, we need this candle to close above 400. It needs to push. 1 minute candle, 40 something seconds. They need to find their legs and close that up above his break of structure right here. Not necessarily need to do it on this one, but they need to close green, open up, close above 400, you know, and so on, so on. Even if they try to slow grind this, per se, it don't have to be a solid engulfing candle here. Now that would be great for the bulls, but especially if I got up to this break right here and were to hold, that'd be even better. Excuse me.
Order submitted.
A lot of times I would move my sales like this one here up if I think I'm going to get a leg up, but I'm going to let that set and see if it tags. That way I can try to get this account back into the green and not be playing around with moving my stops. That's always a bad idea, to move your sales. Nice, so we got that. Now the question is, can we get the push here to the 50? Maybe sweep it and tag that prior low at 477. I'll try to give this a little breathing room, but I don't want to give back too much of the gains on this side. I'll go just below this break of structure right here. No, I'm about to fall that tight. Yeah, I just had to get stopped out. I'm good with that. So I got the account back to, looks like 150.50. It's a long ways from that 900 number I was looking at just a little while ago. And if you was on when I took that account into the red, you notice it was, my sizing was heavy. And then I've been sizing down ever since I took that account down like that, and I've sized down and almost got all that back. So, you know, it ain't really about the size. Did anybody else get into that down there where it was trying to make up its mind around that trend line and 4-hour box? If so, let us know in chat. If anybody was looking to get funded, use code FTE at Bull and Ox and Trade Day, And Bulldog's just put theirs back on sale for 89% off through the 10th of this month. And if you take more interest into the way that I trade, or with precision entry zones, imbalance zones, trend lines, and everything else, I have a course out there, and several indicators for NinjaTrader and TradingView can all be found on FuturestraderElite FuturestraderElite at gumroad.com. All right, so we got that leg up and got this little pullback here. You know, what are we going to do with this? Did we get us a little push up because them indicators were oversold, and now they're going to take us another leg down? Did you get in on that? I think Latoya, I think that's what you said your name was. Did you take that trade off that box down there or in that area? It was a nice little drive, that's for sure. It's about hitting them base hits, you know. Seems like all the time people are always trying to go for them home runs, and them home runs is what you end up blowing your account. You gotta go for them base hits. Base hits turn into home runs. I consider home runs taking payouts. That's a home run to me. Not the trade, the payout. And the base hits get you there. Nothing wrong with quick scalps. There's plenty of days where I scalp a lot of 5 and 10, 15 points, 20, in and out. Some days I do that. I try not to scalp so much now that I'm live streaming. It takes a certain type of trader, and probably you're gonna have to say experience to be able to scalp and be pretty good at it. Takes a while. I started, I mainly was trading minis, NQ minis, but I started trading micros, mostly micros at the beginning of this year because of the easier on the risk management side than trading minis. And like I said, going for, you know, base hits every day is really what we're looking for. It's easy to get base hits using micros. So, you know, it's also easy to get base hits scalping with NQ though, sometimes. But then when it ain't, you know, the risk management ratio is way better, I think, to just trade micros. As long as you're not always trading like 10 and 20, then you might as well trade the minis. But wow, getting a nice little push here. Question is, can they get above the 50 EMA and close? And then what about this prior low at 477? This all looks good on the screen, but you know, this push looks good with this little pullback, and we get this push again here. But to look better, we need to close above the prior low here. Maybe even take out this break of structure here at 494, 495, and then we'll can reevaluate. You know, they break up here, break this, maybe retest, and we might be on to something for a larger move to the upside. We'll see. What's your Latoya, what's your go-to for trading? Do you trade NQ every day, or do you trade MNQ? Anything else? Gold, ES, any of the other instruments? I was trading a lot of gold too at the beginning, at the start of this year, but so many props are not allowing you. They keep putting a pause on it because of the volatility, and then they let you. And I have not been keeping up with when they pull the pause off and let us trade, so I just quit looking at it for the most part. trade it sometimes, I think, with Bull and Ox because they didn't put a halt on it, but. Yeah, the risk reward is way easier to control in micros. I was trading NQ yesterday a little bit, but I was in a Ninja Trader competition account, and I wasn't really trading by any kind of rules in that competition account. And like you said, with the low ATR, I may switch to NQ. I'm the same way, and it really, for me, depends on the size of the account. You know, I think that if someone is going to trade NQ on a regular basis, that they probably ought to be trading with a larger prop account or cash account or whatever because of the risk reward. Whereas like with a 25K or 50K, I think people should stick to micros. But I find myself on low ATR sometimes getting in NQ with some 50K accounts and, you know, scalping or, you know, waiting for a particular move, maybe on a big down or a big leg down or a big leg up, taking it short or long, trying to catch, you know, 50, 80, 100 points. But for the most part, I'm just gonna stick to micros. Base hits is where it's at. You can find the most consistency going for base hits, and they can. Great job. Took 373 for the long. Was red for opening, but you're green now. Locked it in. I like that. Great job. Well, I'm still red on the account that I've been trading since it opened. This growth account. I hadn't particularly seen anything that I'm willing to risk trading a funded account on. Normally I would have thought about it maybe down here in this box, but ATR was still high, still around 25, and I need to see it prove itself in some places, you know. This is a nice little drive here, but the question is, we're getting into overbought territory, and are they going to pull this back because they're still having a hard time closing, you know, above the 50 EMA? And then, of course, on the 2 minute and the 5 minute, it's not even near the 50 EMA. So we gotta wait and see how it reacts to this line here, and then this prior low. Toil. How many micros do I normally trade? If I am in a funded account, I normally trade anywhere between 1 and 3. And then if I'm in an eval, depending on the account size, I will normally trade anywhere up to 10 or 20, depending on the account. and the trade. Like if there's some trades I might want a dollar cost average into. That it's hard, you know, if you get in, if you take a trade with, say you get in with 10 or 20 micros, then you really need to be catching a decent move, not scalping, you know, something that you might get out of. Say, it's just like if I dollar cost in with that many, then I'm gonna dollar cost, or I'm gonna average scale out as well. So say that I buy 5 right here. All right. And in the game plan, say that I was looking for them to come back and test this structure right here. So this is a break structure retest, this area that we get in on. If I'm saying an eval, I'm thinking, well, I'm willing to dollar cost average into this trade, probably down to this 4-hour box, because we might be protecting this low. So if that's my game plan, and say I put 5 there, and I'm gonna put 5 here,
Order submitted.
and then I'm gonna put another 5 in this box where I think we're getting close to the break. Then I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna throw a stop in here, a buy stop. And as soon as the candle goes my way like that, I'm just going to start moving my stop into place. And
Order fell.
hopefully not get hit. I wasn't done with the trade plan there, but I'm going to get in again anyway. So then I'm going to move down and say I'm going to scale out. I don't sell all at one time. I want to scale out and then let some run. Because you talk about them fees. Say I scale out a 2 or 3 here, right here, but then I let some leave to run.
Order submitted.
It ends up working out for you better off in the long run. Then say buy 5 here, sell 5. I'm 5 at 424. If I put a sell here at 429 a 5, yeah, that's gonna. The whole commission part, you might be green on the P&L, but it's not going to be that great for sure. But at the end of the day, when I look at things, I'd almost rather do that than to take 1 micro or 1 mini and
Order submitted.
get caught by a death candle, and you know how that goes. 1 death candle on NQ mini can ruin, you know, let me get out of that.
Order fell.
Can ruin the account for the day. And trading's all about controlling your emotions, and trading in minis, you know, when you can literally take a hit in 15 seconds, can do damage to the mental status of the trading day. And then next thing you know, you're trading all your accounts the wrong way, or revenge trading, just one thing after another. I hope that helped. Yeah, if it didn't, just let me know. I could try to explain it a different way. it's always easy to look back to the left of the chart and see things. But earlier today, when we was up in this box trading, we was talking about if they break out of this range box up here, we might see a lot more downside. And they was doing all this wicking here, trying to push it down, and then this wicked up down in solid close right here. So I mean, under the 50 EMA coming out of the bottom side of this box, if somebody took the opening range break around 500, that was a huge move if they held through that. Of course, it's easier to see now because we was looking at this side of the chart with none of this, but we had discussed all that move. And yet we discussed it. I'm still in the red. Go figure, right? Got another little ugly head and shoulders going on right here on this chart. Say that you could bring this up here like that, and then right there. Come on now. Little funky shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Broke the neckline, dropped down what? We broke neckline at 418. Went down to 394. Look at this, broke again. If they take this low out, they could be looking for a harder push to the downside. Yeah, you're correct about that. Using micros is better suited for taking some 1-2 solid trades and being able to get your base hit and being done. I understand completely. There's been days where my P&L was green, barely green, but man, my commissions were just something awful. Most of them days though, I'd taken way more trades than I needed to, but it happens. And usually there was more scalping, and like we was discussing it, it's hard to scalp with micros. Especially if you have too many. I notice you can scalp with 1 or 2 sometimes, and if you're getting at least 10 to 15 points on the lick, then that ain't as bad. But you get any more micros than that, and you're not getting a big enough move, then it can really damage the P&L. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Did I miss some action? Let's see here. Yeah, they take out the old low there. Wonder if they can do it. It's not looking real good, that's for sure. If we don't get a bounce out of here, if they don't save this low right here, then we might not have a whole lot of support anywhere until we get down to this other 4-hour box down here. It really feels like they're wanting to drain this off even more, of course. I'd hate to get in too early, but it looks like they're going to take this on down maybe. They could save it though. They're just not, it's not, for the ATR to be at 25, you would think that we'd be finding a little more reaction on the bounce side if that was something they wanted to do. Now, gold's really taken a hit since yesterday. It was just up to 5,600 the other day. Now it's back down about close to 5,000. Wow, it hit 5,005 since the market's been open. Wow. Another one of them risky bounces there, kind of like we was back here thinking the indicators were oversold, which they are pretty heavy. But now they're turned up after this candle was put in. Kind of like they want to turn a leaf over here, but you seen what that got us here. It was a nice little push, yeah, down here 359 to 471. That's 100-point move. So thing is can they do that here? Hey, no problem, Swang. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. See, they keep chopping right here. It's hard to determine, you can't just get in a trade anywhere, but then it kind of needs to prove itself. If you want to take a long, it needs to be above the 50 EMA. Find some momentum to the upside, take out some structure, close above the 50 EMA, maybe retest and take that bounce. Or, get down here and take the low out or do something so that we know where a good entry is, because looking at the chart right now, I can't see a reason why I would just hop in unless I found a lot of momentum come into a trade on top of a break of structure. Like if they took this candle right here, we're in up to this 477. Yeah, I'm probably about to jump in the trade depending on how it reacts there. But I kind of made some trades at the open back here that were a prime example of what not to do. And that's how I ended up 900 in the red or 1,000. Especially when you start trying to counter trend trade. If you're trying to do the opposite of whatever's going on, a lot of times it ain't going to work out for you if you don't pinpoint the correct entry. But and then even though things were telling me we should be going down, it just wanted to keep pushing up. So we can't control the market. We just got to adapt to it and take from it what we can, knocking base hits out. And then, and you got to know when to walk away as well. Even if you're down, if you're red on the day, right now I'm still in the red 150 on this account. I can be done with this account and rotate to the next one. I think I am 232 in another account, the one that I traded when I was trying to explain that ordeal. Well, I'm actually 213. That's what I'm at after commissions on that micro trade. When I was explaining, I went in I had 5, and when I had all them orders set, that's what I had ended up with. But I wanted to try to get this account here back in the green if I can. So we got the buy signal on the 1 minute. That don't really mean much because that candle right there could end up down here. I like that it's above the 50 EMA and it got put in. Our EMA's down here crossing the 9/21 crossed right there. That's why the signal got put in. And then if they could be above the 50 EMA would be even better. We need to break. We need to break 475-ish. Take this wick out, but because of this line, this prior lows up here, we really need to take that out. Then we could really be thinking, okay, we got a W put in if people are into certain patterns. This has got the W put in if we can get because we're in a bearish downtrend, it's hard to expect, but because of this pattern here, and if we take out this level here, you could see a leg extension, working its way up in through this box up here. Another good push above, maybe a little consolidating up, a little pullback and up. See if they can get back to the S1 pivot. I like these buy signals a lot more. Like I said, I watch this on TradingView on another screen, and when the 1 and 2 minute fire at the same time, I almost always buy it if everything else is looking good. And then if the 1, 2, and 5 minute all trigger on the same candle, I usually buy, even if it's just a quick scalp. Right. See, they're trying to make this push here. Now the indicators are in the overbought on the momentum indicators, getting up. So is this going to be a sweep of this level, a rejection? Of course, it closed right at it. You know, if they put this 1 minute candle in right here and it closes red, I'm taking a short off of it. It's got about 45 seconds to close or so. I'll be taking a short if it closes red, more than likely. But they could be pushing here. Oh, there we go. What about that? It's kind of what we just discussed. Now, if they can close this, break this structure here, you're looking at that larger leg. They might try to move this on up. Almost makes you wonder why we didn't just take the trade down here when we was talking about it. Well, we didn't take it because it didn't prove nothing yet. But they're going to have to close this here in a few seconds. Then we need to see, are they going to take this candle down, maybe retest this level, or are they just going to go on and start pushing? They're really up in the over bought territory, so I'm going to watch these legs up. And because it's in the overbought zone on all my indicators, I'm going to wait for the first red candle close, and then I'm probably going to take it short on the close of the candle, hoping that we're going to get a spike down. Especially we're up in all this consolidation and these wicks here. Excuse me. Don't look like I'm gonna get the red candle on this one though, so we might see some more upside here. Really nice move off the W there. Took the 477 level out and almost, not quite, almost a 100-point move off that already. Bam. That's crazy. That right there is what we was talking about. Great job. Great job, Melinda. Great job. That's how it's done. I could maybe be right there with you if I did as much trading as I am doing talking right now. That was a great move. But it is what it is. Not going to chase it. Right now, I'm just going to try to stalk the first first leg down right now, since we're made such a up move. Yep, the old W for the win. It's always good to have a lot of different things in your toolbox when it comes to trading, and things to pay attention to and watch out for sure. Now see, I said I'd take the first red candle, and that closed about doji style, and then this opened up and went up. That's why I didn't, it wasn't a red candle. And now if this candle gets put in and it's red, but it's all the way down here, I won't buy that on the close either. But if it's enclosed in the red and be a decent size little candle, not a huge a knife candle, then I would take it short on the close. Yeah, I know. He's been back there in the background talking. He's ready to probably go out. I probably need to mute myself and let them out. He likes to voice his opinion. Surprisingly, they do pretty good while I'm streaming most of the time. So, got about 30 seconds on this candle or so. Like a little bit more of a downward move on it. I'm going to take this on the close and see how it works.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Might just be too strong to get the pullback that I'm looking for. We'll see. Come on, push.
Order
Didn't get it in there in time.
submitted. Order filled. Order canceled. Order submitted.
Come on. Need a hard push down. Don't stop me out now.
Order filled. Order
Oh well.
canceled.
What we're kind of looking for here is, you see this wick right here on this candle is looking for somewhat of a take profit right here in this area. So 525 area for them to maybe pull back to would be a take profit, and see if they're going to bounce this here or if we're going to get a bigger move back to the downside. You know, maybe try to come down here to back down to 500, maybe this break a structure here on the W. I'll be right back with you guys. I'm gonna mute myself real quick. All right, I'm back. Looks like we got some more move to the upside while I was outside there. It's just how much upside are we going to get, you know? If they can come back and take all this out, then they might be trying to drive this on up. But they looks like they would put in a cool down leg somewhere so the momentum indicators could drain off some and maybe hold price action. It's a really, really nice bounce they took out of the retest of this 4-hour box. Really nice bounce. Not much further, be almost 300 points. They get close to the top of this box here. Come up here and tapped into this head and shoulders and this pivot here now, so I'm thinking I might need to try for another short play up in here somewhere.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Too tight.
Order canceled.
Nice. Had I not been so impatient, that would have been a nice little spike down. Would have been $1,500, probably close to $200 with 5 micros, which I took. And I think I only got about $50 because I'm down to 67.50. If I even got that. And that all boils down to this kill zone indicator that I use. You find these legs up like this and looking for those short entries. You know, we're overbought up here pretty heavy. You see it put in this red dot as early indication of maybe a reversal. Not necessarily means it's an entry, but if we get a leg up and we get a 5 minute, a candle closes red, plus they wicked out, touch the pivot there, suck down, close red, take my entry on the close of the candle as I see it closing red to either scalp out or hold for a larger move. Some of these moves like this, you end up getting legs that are, 30 points and beyond, 50, 100. But I watch those on a daily basis on the 1 minute chart as far as when we get extensions, where we are at the kill zone indicator, looking, stalking down that 5 minute candle, or that red candle, 1 minute red candle. They don't always work, but a lot of them you can at least scalp out for 5 points, and then a lot of them will have larger moves. Like this one back here, I tried that one. I got a little move. Had I held this one, I'd have had a real decent move. But I like to follow tight with my stops. You really want to get immediate reaction. Because if you don't follow tight with a stop and you got 5 micros and it comes and wicks back up here, then you're $200 in the red. So I'd rather take my $50 in the green and stop out fast and leave some on the table than to be 200 in the red up here. Excuse me. I hope that you guys can hear me and that the stream is still going. If so, let me know in the chat. Getting a message saying that something's going on. I can't tell if anything is actually wrong or not. I think it might be. Did I lose internet connection? No. I cannot tell if my screen's frozen or not. NinjaTrader's not working. What the world? Well, I'm glad I was not in a trade. What in the world? My NinjaTrader was froze up. I think we're having some technical difficulties. If y'all just bear with me, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Always gotta love technical difficulties. Everything seems to be froze up on my end. So I'm not sure how it is on your guys' end.
Connection lost.
I don't know if I'm I'm gonna have to end the stream here. YouTube's not cooperating, and neither is NinjaTrader. Might have to reboot my entire system, it looks like, because everything's froze up. I appreciate everyone who showed up today. Hopefully you can still hear. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, same time, same place. I'll have links posted. You know, if you're still looking to get funded and want to try out Bullinox or Trade Day, use code FTE. And Bullinox is 89% off right now. And then I will see you guys hopefully in Discord. No freeze for Quant Tower. Yeah, this is the first time I've encountered this. I don't necessarily know that it's I don't think it's NinjaTrader. I think this is my computer by itself. Something's going on because TradingView's still working. But then YouTube is acting up, and so is Ninja.